Good evening, everyone, and I'm so privileged. Like she said, it's homecoming here, and I'm truly privileged to be a part of this. As Jayashree Mamshi, I call her. So she mentioned my younger daughter is a part of Interact, and I keep seeing all the things and I mean, whatever the cancer thing, and they did a football event, and organizing funds through it, and helping for a good cause, which we always believe. She's very actively doing it right now. So I'm so happy. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and speak today on a very, I don't know. I mean, it's wildlife has become the in thing right now. Everyone is going to various forest parks, but I took a different topic. I travel to forests, but I thought let's talk about women. The fate of wildlife ahead. So that is also one big, issue right now. So basically, let's begin with a very simple this thing. When women rise for nature, planet breathes easier. Why this is said? So I'm Himangi Vartak, founder of Jungle Bells. Before I move on, today's session I would dedicate it to my partner Aarti Karve. She's no longer with us. She passed away with cancer in the month of April, and it happens to be her birthday today. So yeah, so I wanted to mention this because. You want me? Hello? Is this okay? Am I audible? Yeah, thank you. So I wanted it to, dedicate this session to her. So she would have been super happy, seeing the response and when we are speaking about our own venture. So basically, I've been to parks. First park I went to Kanha, and I never looked back. Why I keep on going there is forest gives you a lot of benefits. Apart from wildlife, it gives you detox completely from digital nowadays, because it's become so very maybe intrusive in our daily lives. You do not get to see your mobile for 4 hours. It is so important right now. Another thing it gives is me time. I specifically say this for women because you are into your busy schedules no matter at what age. It doesn't just end there. It's a cycle every day. So I have women who come with me saying, please udyacha parva jau shakto ka, my mother-in-law is not well. Okay, my grandchild I have to drop to the school, and there are 101 reasons. I come from the same background. I have 2 daughters, I have a home. But once they step out into the wildlife or they in the nature, they forget half a day what happens back, because your mobile is not accessible. So anyone reaching you, of course, has to wait unless and until it's very urgent. So that is there. A lot of women have not stepped on grass per se, bare feet, if I have to say. So when I take them to grasslands, it's, they get down without shoes, chappals, and they are just walking into it. So that is a therapy. I mean, I'm not exaggerating, but we go outside and seek therapies. But I feel nature in every way teaches you a lot of learnings what you get from nature also. So that's why this topic. So honestly, I feel today's women influence our day-to-day life. So what food that comes in our house, how we give the values ahead to our children, where we travel, we plan a lot. Women are a part of planning travels wherever they want to go. So all these decisions in day-to-day life, women make, and then they pass this legacy on to their children. So I felt our niche is women, because they are going to somewhat influence the children in a big way in coming into and exploring these kind of natures. So that we can move ahead. So that was the entire thing behind taking up this topic. So as I said, they cannot thrive without women's involvement, because whether it is rural or urban women, both influence, because rural women know when to harvest, when to conserve water, or when to share resources. And urban women are influencers. They hold conversations. They bring up their children. So I feel in both ways, women's involvement is very important. Another thing women have is the empathy part. So we all understand what is empathy. So they will not go in an extreme way, but they will see to it that there is a balance created and what we call coexistence. So right now there are a lot of issues of leopards I think all of us are hearing, and leopards being seen in Aund, leopards here, leopards there. Why has it happened? If anyone has to question that, because media can print anything that they want. I do work with the forest department for sensitization of and awareness of leopards in terms of in villages in Zunnar and Mansar right now, wherein the problem is so high that every week there is one death. Okay, and we don't know here. It's a very alarming situation there. So close to 1,500 leopards right now reside in Zunnar and Mansar in sugarcane fields. And why is it? Because it was their area. Okay, that is the underlying thing. Whatever we say, I understand that humans are important, whatever. But if you try and penetrate, get into their areas, that's what will happen. So the leopards coming into our cities are very, very disoriented. If you happen to see them, they are either searching for water, food, they do not know where they have come, and in a way rescue and other organizations are trying their level best, so that they can be safely captured. So the forest department is taking, but as I say, this entire ecology, why I'm explaining the future of today, and I'm just giving you examples so that it doesn't get monotonous, but entire ecology starts from humans, because if awareness is there, why is it happening around us? What have we done, or how can we coexist with the wildlife? So coexistence is very, very important. I'll give you an example in Tadoba. If you go, you see villages on the periphery of the forest. Okay, so it's a buffer area, what we call. There's a core and a buffer. So villages, there are people residing. If you go and talk to those villages and communities, if they happen to kill any of their family member, a tiger kills, they will never say tiger ne mara hai. They will say accident ho gaya. Why? Because they know that coexistence with wildlife is so important, because tourism, people visit the forest, that's how their livelihood is protected. So they have got that sense to not blame the animals, because tigers also don't know. It's happening like leopards here. So they just move out. There is no specific area where they are moving. So that's how the coexistence, and it's the way forward, because this will keep on happening right now. I mean, you've seen leopards, but tomorrow Indian gore will come. It comes from the Mahabaleshwar area, or, other animals will come. So it's going to increase more. So I think awareness is the key. What you read in papers always is not believable unless and until it comes from an authentic source, like a forest department official talking about it and giving, because there's a lot of AI videos and things like that, tigers attacking a person and that person runs. It never happens like that unless and until there has to be some reason, or it's now AI has done it worse for everyone. So coexistence is the key, is what I wanted to say here. Next. Is it moving? Yeah, so let's go here. So what is, we have a lot of biodiversity spots in and around Pune. We are blessed to be staying, here actually. So there is a big one, the grasslands, Karbanwadi on Solapur Road. We have the Saswad grasslands. We have Tamini Ghats. We have simple as ARI Tekadi. We have Sinhagad Valley. We are surrounded by, we are very lucky because photographers travel from all around and come to Pune to have that base, and then they travel to all these biodiversity spots. But if you go to a grassland, you will see factories coming up, plotting happening, the wolves there are this thing. So it's an alarming situation right now. As I said, tigers, I give you an example. So tigers, it's glorified. Narendra Modi ji did the 50 years of tiger and things like that. They are working towards it, but we are walking on a thin line still. So there's a lot to do. It's been right now in papers that it's very, it's been taken care of, but it is an alarming rate. Or I hope everyone has heard about a great Indian bustard. So there are very few, 150 numbers left in India. You find them in Desert National Park in Rajasthan, or you find one or two off in Mayureshwar. they have been killed and eaten for their meat by humans all over, and now the quantity has been, come down, and it's just 150. So why has this happened? Here again, we are responsible. I'm not saying that, but this is the kind of situation which is happening. So we do take safaris, we, awareness we do, and we also provocate responsible tourism. So what is responsible tourism? A, which doesn't disturb the forest. So loud music, you having destination weddings on the periphery of the forest is now becoming, again, it's a trend, but it disturbs the wildlife. Not talking in the gypsy is so very, I take women with me, and frankly it's difficult. I have to give them disclaimers first that you are in the forest, so I think 4 hours is silent time. So it's a me time to look into your this thing. Even if you don't see a tiger, you're not chasing tigers at all. So forest in all is going to be a blessing for you. It is going to be teaching a lot of things. Small example, alarm calls. I don't know, most of you must have gone in forests. They must have heard something called as alarm call. Okay, so when we go in a gypsy, suddenly the guide says, "Madam, रुक जाओ, यहाँ पे कॉल सुनाई दे रहा है." So what is an alarm call? The langur, okay, the deer, the cheetal, what we call, and the sambar deer, and everyone teams up against the tiger. So they see the langur is the first person to see the tiger walking towards maybe the water hole, and that time he makes a certain like that sound from his this thing. So it's like a language that happens between those animals, that hold on, the tiger is coming. So tiger is the apex predator in the forest, so everyone is scared. Of course, he's not going to say aaj jao, aaj mera mood nahi. So he is going to come and attack you. So every time a tiger is walking, there's all alarm calls which go all the way. So there is a teamwork that happens. This is a learning. So anywhere that you go, you people are working as a team for so many good projects. So similarly in forest, these animals work as team. Second thing is, I would like to say, if you stay silent many times, you get to know a lot of things. Instead of you keep on talking, you miss out on all these things. So something like this, or a tigress, suppose. I had so many incidences where tigress has a small cubs, and so there are instances when they have been, tigress has attacked forest guards in the forest. So in a Tadoba kind of this, Maya was a very, very celebrated tigress. So she had attacked a forest guard. So a simple story. So why she attacked is, the forest guard went very close to her. Okay, she was resting in the woods, and at that point of time, she felt the fear that that guard will do her something. So by that defense, she attacked. So a lot of times we read, "Arey, wo tigress ne maar diya." No, it's because she's scared of you. That's why she's countering it. So they're not man eaters. So all these are myths. Tigress attack. So all these come under the myths. This thing. So these are so many stories that I have. So I've taken a lot of women, particularly what we announce as women trips, but I do go with families also for the safaris, and they're just thrilled. They want to, tiger, everyone wants to see, but the forest, different birds, landscapes, different forests have, different things. Frankly telling you, if you go to a forest trip and come back, your skin is better. You're feeling better. You're, rejuvenated for a lot of things, because oxygen levels are very higher. And you eat plain food. If you see, they obviously buy whatever, it's closer to they have their own agriculture, this thing. So you eat plain, your digestion is much more better in those 2-3 days. I mean, even though you're getting up early morning at 4 o'clock for a safari, no one says, dhoop nahi dhali, I'm like really stressed out. I've not ever heard, because people they look forward to the next bits of going to wildlife. If you do not visit wildlife as you do for the urban holidays, you will be missing out on all this. How will you support the livelihoods of those people who are right now working towards the forest and this thing? And they are the protectors. So I always say, what can we do sitting here is we can go and visit and give them the source of livelihood. That is the only thing we cannot get on the field and actually work. So these are the kind of advantages. So these are just pointers. I'm talking more of extempo. So as I said, women, why women? They're natural nurturers. So you know what to pick, what to buy, what to give. You have empathy. You balance out a lot of things, emotions, family, career. You know, in a way, you have that entire ecology where, you know, in yourself. So we don't know actually. So I have a lot of solo travelers coming with me. I have IT people, the young women who want to just take out me time. So they often tell, "Nahi gharchanna nahi avad पण मी आले." So I was like, okay, and that is the trend is building. So they are like, I'll do a family holiday, but I love wildlife. I love getting out in nature. So I will come with you. So, and that's what we teach our children. So ahead, I think they develop an interest. So we have a lot of sessions in schools in Pune, in affluent schools, also from the like corporation schools also, we've done sessions wherein they want to see wildlife kaise rehta hai, or they go and tell their parents, apan ek trip tari Pench la jauya, you know, if you're doing a Goa, might as well we do one jungle, or next year we'll do jungle, or something like this. So the interest develops from there, because they are the people who are going to be the major influencers ahead in, you know, a lot of things, saving the environment. I mean, we keep on doing that, say no to plastic, save environment, build, you know, plant trees. So how will it go ahead? It will go ahead through our children. If they're not exposed to wildlife, they've not been told. So awareness levels are alarming. I'll give you a very funny example. I'd gone to Kanha, and outside there was a couple standing, and they had only seen a tiger. Entire park mein, no other gypsy saw. I was standing next to them. I also did not see. And that poor lady did not know it was a tiger. She kept on saying to her husband, "Are zebra nathi dekho che," or something. So I was like, I looked at them, and then I looked this side. I said, something I heard wrong. Again, she said the same thing. So then I went and told her, "Madam, idhar zebra nahi hai India mein, first thing. और आपने जो देखा वो किसी ने नहीं देखा है आज सफारी के राइड में." And the awareness level, that how will you go and tell your future generation, children, that this is it, basic things. और reindeer देखा कान्हा में, अरे reindeer नहीं है India, it is Barasinga, what you call, or bisons नहीं रहते हैं, we call it Indian gore. So how will these small things, if we ourselves do not know, how will we? So I did not know 15 years back, but through the journey I evolved, and then I started telling him future. That's what I wanted to say, that as women, why I say, because we spend most of the time with our children or grandchildren. So it is very important, if you open books or if you go show Nat Geo films or, you know, Animal Planet they are seeing, it's very important to ask them also, isko kya bolte hai? Do you know that? I mean, that's how they will also, you know, and they will know how to preserve the habitat, preserve the environment, not use plastic. You know, snakes are not harmful. You do not have to go and hold them, but you cannot hold them as your enemy. They are a part of the ecology. They have, every insect or animal has a role to play. So how will you explain this? Because you yourself are educated first, so you can tell your children or, you know, grandchildren for that matter. So that's how one thing is. So that's what natural nurturers, perfect for conservation. Women manage, as I said, water, food, energy, and empowered ecosystems. Next. So these are few where we take, few of them are photographers, few of them are not. I am saying, do not take a camera, go with a binocs and observe nature. Once you get into that camera thing, you will be busy taking pictures. मुझे यहाँ से shot अच्छा आया था, वहाँ से आना चाहिए वहाँ. So this is all, those are wildlife photographers by profession. They do it, and that's their profession. But do not, if you want to capture moments, click 1, 2 by normal cameras or phones, and then enjoy nature. So these are all photographers that I had taken, but all are women. This is the ARI Tekadi. We always take naturalists with us for the flora, fauna, what type of fauna, flora, or butterflies. So everything is explained, that what you find in each this thing. So yeah, the fate of wildlife habitat loss, major thing. Wherever you say it's construction, it's plotting, grasslands, Solapur you go, you will see a lot of it. So you wolves areas and foxes and all, dens are getting, traumatized by the machines, cranes. This is happening, that is a bound thing. Wildlife tourism can be, as I said, responsible or exploitative. If you have destination weddings, if you litter in the forest, if you're throwing plastic, all these are things which are going to be worse for the habitat. 80% grasslands are lost now. Only 150, less than 150 Indian busters left, and tiger recovery is very fragile, though they are saying right now, but it's at a very, very small percentage increase. Next. These are the few things that we keep on having, exhibitions, we have books, which have, women who are working. So a lot of women are researchers, they are wildlife photographers, they are working as a conservationist in a lot of parks, they are, working with the communities there, like Kanha and Bandhavgarh, Panna. In Madhya Pradesh, there are so many women who are working with the Gond and etc. communities, they're helping out in the projects, they're giving them livelihood, teaching them skills like suppose stitching or different types of cooking, painting, so they can make souvenirs and sell it on the park gates. So I myself, there are a lot of, we have Vidya Venkatesh, we have Bhavna Menon, there are a lot of women who are working right now for the upliftment of these kind of communities. Once these communities were a taboo on the society because they come from a really low strata. Today they are working towards their livelihood, they're painting, they're doing warli, they're doing a lot of things. So if you go to any of these forests, make sure you visit their centers. Everyone has a center there. What we do, we just go to the safari and come back. So maybe in nature interpretation centers which are there, and these type of souvenir shops which are run by local communities, women. So primarily women, as I said, women are more responsible there also. So it's like, rather than just this thing, they're doing a lot of juggling on a lot of aspects. Next. Yeah, consumption choices, as I said, why they're key to wildlife's future. Urban women are eco-influencers and women add empathy. Empathy. So conservation is not just saving animals. I feel it's a change of mindset. Empathy, that I feel for the nature and I want to do something, is the empathy, and that we are at a higher, women have it higher because they're managing families all by themselves. So I feel that is so important. Next. Yeah, so these are a few initiatives. We have webinars. We have one webinar every month of one person who has done something in the field of wildlife. So we do it on Zoom still now. We upload it on YouTube. It's more for awareness and for the work that they're doing. So we don't know, a lot of women are already working in this. So we get them on our webinars. Next. Yeah, so wildlife tourism builds connection with local people, nature. So I would also say that go and visit their houses, it's very interesting how they live, from where they get water. They have electrocuted fences, slight this thing for tigers. It's very interesting thing to see. वो बोलते हैं इधर मत जाओ, वो current लग जाएगा. So they have these fences which they have made. So it's very nice. But their kids are a part of the schooling there. In 45 degrees in Nagpur or Jabalpur, if you say, the children go bare feet to the schools. I have shown my children also, frankly, my daughters, that whatever you it's not incorrect, but if you do a brand change after every 3 months of shoes, you should sometimes think, I've gone and shown them. That's how that thing it comes in you, that someone is roaming barefoot. So might as well you look into your one thing, if I have one pair and my satisfaction. And we have a lot of donation drives which go on, wherein we just take it from used clothes, used shoes in good conditions, basically, or anything, backpacks and sling bags, and we just go and donate it to them. So give it to the villagers. They're super happy. Whether saris, salwar kameezes, they're super happy to take and wear them also. Next. So these are a lot of programs that I said towards the a lot of wildlife parks outside we keep on doing. Next. Yeah, so Educating, yes, through textbooks is very important, but role modeling or, giving them a lot of activities. So we have something called as Wild Fest, which we hold every year. We have a kind of a mela. It's this time it's on the 10th of Jan at Bougainvillea Farms. So it's a free entry. We tell all the children to come. We have mascots of different tigers. We have people coming in from a lot of forest officials coming in to talk with the people. We have people who emulate bird sounds. So it's a kind of awareness, this thing that we do. So textbooks ke alawa, educating, how you educate, you have sessions. The more you talk to people, the more you impart knowledge. I think that's how they absorb it more better. Nature role models. So I said storytelling, photography, travel, of course, inspires. Next. Yeah, next. The way forward. So as I said, community-based conservation. So I always feel urban rural people somewhere working together, because they have the wisdom. I always feel that there's an ecological wisdom, as I said, and we are more for the urban, so we know how to get it converted to something. So working hand in hand, doing community projects, a lot of them. I'm sure you guys do a lot, but in forest, this thing, what we do is we help them out in major like skill development, what you say. So teach them. So if you know English, they're ready to learn English also, because there are a lot of foreigners also who visit these parks, so they want to be update with the entire thing. So aap English bhi sikhaoge to bhi chalega. That's how their perception is. So these are just how you can go forward. More women in policy and management, so it's more to say, but slowly we are getting a lot of women into this. Next. Yeah, so just step out, speak up, support conservation and travel responsibly. Very, very important. How you travel, what you use, whether plastic is banned in all national parks now. You take water, the glass bottles you take, or you take a steel bottle inside. They've made it mandatory not to use any kind of plastic. That's where it starts. Even in the resorts that you go, a lot of times they have changed their entire decor or usage of a lot of things into no plastic zone. And that is one thing, and support conservation. So anyways, you can donate, whatever activities you are doing, you can continue with them. Next. Yeah, see, these are, whatever choices you make today, I feel they're going to impact for tomorrow. Right now, it doesn't have to be a big thing. You can do a small change and keep on continuously doing that small thing. One day it materializes into something big. We don't understand that. Always we feel that kaitari motha karu, things will change. But motha kadi hot nahi, because it's not sustainable. So smaller things, like I said, small, like no plastic today, I'm using a cloth bag, or things like this. I'm planting, I'm doing a kitchen garden, or things, anything to do with nature. Which place is this? This is Tadoba. Yeah, sorry. Next. These are, Telang is here, Telang ma'am. This is one of the Meghat sweaters donation that we've done. I was just mentioning it to her, and yes, so we donated so many sweaters, and I told her, those people are so grateful that the gratefulness, ounce we have, it will make a difference. We did it in 2000, the project. In 2000, last year, so 2004, sorry, 2020 and 2024, I had a friend photographer going to Meghat, and she calls me up there, Himangi, I saw your sweaters on 2-3 guides. So 5 years, 4 years, they've been using it relentlessly, because it's, they are very, very, it's very cold. Central India, Meghat, they really freeze down temperatures. So it's very important. They're still using those green sweaters, and which we had given here. They immediately wore it there, and they're still using. So I'll share a photograph I told to Telang ma'am right now, which they're using. Yes. Next. This is, so one thing is, that was donation drive. This is a petition. Someone asked me right now, what about the washrooms for women in forest, okay? Anywhere, if you travel right now. I have been going since last 15 years, and 4 hours though you cannot go for a washroom. You start from the resort, 1 hour earlier. So what happens till you're back in the resort? It is 5.5 hours. You need to have good washrooms. We have a problem everywhere in India, for that matter. Women, I'm talking about sanitization. I have started this petition. Right now, we have got 1,000 odd signs. I want the existing washrooms at least not clogged with water supply. Okay, I don't want anything from this because I myself face that problem. So once you do not go, you have UTIs, you have viral infections, you drink less water. And in summers, it is so crucial because 45 degrees temperature, you're in a safari, you're not drinking water. I have seen women get dehydrated and things. So this is my viewpoint is of a forest, but I'm sure it happens everywhere else. So I have raised this petition somewhat, it will go ahead. So I have forest officials backing up. So hopefully, you know, the existing toilets will be maintained. That is the only thing we want, not to build any separate. We don't mind paying 10 rupees and using the washroom. We've also told that we put a janitor, but no one is ready to work inside the forest. That is the problem that we are facing right now. So they are tackling it all, but hopefully it goes somewhere ahead. So initiatives like this also keep on the parallelly we keep on doing. Next. Yeah, that's what I said. Wildlife Fest for Kids. It's on 10th of January. It's free event for all, so everyone can come. We have Tadoba officials coming this time. We have Sumedh Wagmare. If you've seen Sachin Tendulkar's Insta profile, Sumedh Wagmare is the birdman of Tadoba. So he emulates a lot of different birds and animals' noises. So he's really very talented. You go and see. Sachin Tendulkar had praised him on his, and that's how he became, you know, really good. But he's good. I mean, he stays in Tadoba, so he's coming down for a lot of things. I don't know if you're well versed with if you've been reading, there are 2 tigresses which were right now shifted from Tadoba to Sahyadri Tiger Reserve. It's called the STR. From Tadoba, they got 2 tigresses, journeyed them for 14 hours and got them to the Sahyadri Tiger Reserve, Kolhapur, because they want to build the numbers there. So they brought 2 young tigresses, so they can just settle with the males there, and that's how, you know, that thing will the forest will get developed. So the person who is responsible for relocation, it's not very easy. So you know, dart them, you make them unconscious. They should not be darted so heavily that, you know, they do, there's some issue. So they have to make them travel for so long. So the person who is responsible, he's coming down. So he's going to narrate the story of how he's worked with the tigresses, you know, in the relocation, etc. So this is a one thing. That's it. So I've kept it short, but I think I've covered it more of extempo. I did not refer. I thought I was like, I'll go point by point and all, but then that's not the thing. But I just want to tell you that you are blessed with, I keep on telling Pune people, Bombay के लोग बोलते हैं, अरे यार इधर कुछ नहीं है, और सिर्फ ये building देखते हैं, you know. But Pune people, half an hour you can reach here. 2 hours you can reach Big One. Okay. Sinhagad Valley is what, 1 hour now. They're beautiful birds. You have pathway, and safaris are meant for all. There is a misconception that gypsies, if you want to climb, I was just sharing with someone, I've taken women with arthritis severe who could not climb. That lady, I was so amazed, she got her own stool. Okay. And then from Bombay she came. She got her own stool, and I had made preparations. I had told the restaurant, I mean my hotel guy, that stool lagega, chair lagega to climb up in the safari. But I was amazed. She was carrying both the things, her stick and that stool. I'll help you. It's okay. So she did all 4 safaris, and it was beautiful. So they are safe. One thing is, people ask me, "Are open gypsy hai? Tiger ne attack kiya?" So you know all these. So last so many years, 40 years of wildlife tourism, there's not been an attack on the gypsy. I'll tell you this thing behind it. Gypsy has 4 wheels. For a tiger, it's like an animal that moves. Okay, so if you get down on your foot, then it will attack you, because it will feel the threat ki hai vegla hai. This is different. So the tiger will come and pounce on you. But if you are in a safari, it feels, it has that this thing ki another animal is passing by. So even if they walk closely, you will see videos, those are real. I have experienced a tiger just going like this. It is undeterred. So all that thing, shosha of, we are disturbing the tigers, they are who enjoy the forest, travel responsibly, don't go and touch, put your hands out, things like that. These are all disclaimers. But if you want to, they are very well versed with people, gypsies. They are not, unless and until you mob them and then you don't let them go. This is what the photographers do. So forest department is taking due action on that. But otherwise, it's a very safe thing. Tigers will not attack you. But if you want to do smaller trips, please go and see our grasslands. There are foxes, wolves, different birds. You go, flamingo season is coming right now. So you can go in a boat ride and see lots of flamingos in Bigwan. So step yourself out. It's a beautiful thing. If you want my help, I will guide you as this thing. But do experience it. Winter is the best way to experience. Thank you so much.